Welcome to this deep dive from the Real Japan podcast. Today we're heading just outside Osaka, one of Japan's most exciting cities, to explore a really special retreat. It's a place that just perfectly captures traditional Japanese hospitality, but, well, with some very cool and unexpected twists. We've been looking at an incredible review of this ryokan, this traditional inn, and it gives such a great insight into its unique charm. Now, to really see what we're talking about, the photos are stunning, and to get a direct link to book it yourself, make sure you visit the link in the description. It leads to the full review on therealjapan.com. And definitely stick around till the end. We're going to uncover some really unique things about this experience. Think surprising architecture and a dining experience that's quite rare. You won't want to miss that. Okay, so let's dive in. When you think Osaka, you probably picture, bright lights, Dotonbori, maybe Universal Studios Japan, all that energy. But what if you could have all the convenience of being near that buzzing city, but feel completely surrounded by nature, proper peaceful nature? That's exactly what the review describes about Nanten-en Ryokan. It's tucked away in this small village, Amami, in Kawachi Nagano, technically Osaka Prefecture. But it feels worlds apart. We're talking less than 45 minutes by train from central Osaka.
Yeah.
Yet you're surrounded by these beautiful forested mountains. It feels like a different part of Japan entirely. Apparently, even a lot of Japanese people don't really know Amami.
It's fascinating, isn't it?
Yeah.
How close you can be geographically, but the experience is just completely different. This location, it really seems to offer, well, the best of both worlds. You've got easy access to Osaka, the big city stuff, but then this deep tranquility of rural Japan right there.
Yeah.
Kind of makes you think, doesn't it? When we travel, how often do we really venture just slightly off that main tourist track?
That's a really good question.
To find these places that offer such a strong contrast, such a sense of real escape.
Yeah, absolutely. For you listening, maybe planning a trip, how could you actually find places like this, places that offer that contrast?
Well, I think it often involves looking just beyond the big famous guidebooks, maybe digging into local travel blogs or checking out websites where people share reviews of slightly less known spots, or just, searching for accommodation just outside the main city center.
Right.
Places like Nanten-en really show how that little bit of extra searching can lead you to something, well, pretty special, a whole different side of the destination.
Definitely makes you reconsider how you plan things. And here's where Nanten-en gets really interesting, especially if you have any interest in design or history. It's not just any old inn. The main building, get this, was designed by Kingo Tatsuno.
Oh, wow. Tokyo Station Tatsuno.
The very same. The architect behind the iconic Tokyo Station. And Tatsuno, he studied under this British architect, Josiah Conder, who really brought Western architecture to Japan. So at Nanten-en, you see this incredible mix. It's fundamentally traditional Japanese wood construction, post and beam, that sort of thing. But then you might notice maybe a heavier base, almost like brickwork, or distinct window styles, little touches that hint at European design. It's this blend, sometimes called Tatsuno style, that makes it so unique.
Right.
So unique, in fact, that the main building is listed as a national tangible cultural property. It's literally a piece of history you can stay in.
That's fantastic.
And here's another amazing detail. The building wasn't originally in Amami. It was actually moved there.
No way. Moved. The whole building.
Yep, it was originally in a place called Shuonsen, got damaged in a typhoon, and they painstakingly dismantled it, moved it, and rebuilt it in Amami. Talk about dedication to preservation.
That really speaks volumes, doesn't it? About how Japan values and, well, adapts its heritage. The effort, the cost involved in moving and restoring something like that, it just highlights its cultural importance. It means you, as a visitor, get this direct link to design history. You can touch it, stay in it. It's not just in a book.
Exactly. A living museum, almost. So, how do you get there? Well, it sounds surprisingly easy from Osaka. You hop on the Osaka Loop line, heading towards Nishikujo. Then you change at Shinamamiya Station. Pretty straightforward.
Right.
From Shinamamiya, you grab the Nankai Line Express, the one going towards Hashimoto. And Amami Station, it's station number NK73, is about 35 minutes down the line, maybe 9 stops or so.
Right.
And the Ryokan itself, just a 2-minute walk from Amami Station, easy. Apparently, even the walk from the station gives you lovely views of the village and the mountains.
Nice way to arrive.
Totally. And it's about 70 minutes by car from Kansai Airport, too. So you can easily make it your first stop to decompress or your last relaxing night before flying home.
Good point. Very convenient either way.
Now, okay, picture a traditional ryokan. What pops into your head? Elegant gardens, tatami mats, an onsen, a hot spring bath.
Yeah, pretty much the classic elements.
Well, Nanten has all that, but it adds something, well, pretty unexpected to the list. A big outdoor swimming pool.
A swimming pool?
Yeah.
Really? At a traditional inn?
Yep. A 25-meter pool, free for guests. It's apparently quite rare for this kind of traditional Japanese inn.
Huh. That does sound a bit unusual, but thinking about that architectural blend we just talked about, maybe it fits.
That's exactly the point made in the review. Given that unique mix of Japanese and Western design influences from Tatsuno, the pool somehow feels, well, surprisingly appropriate. Not jarring at all.
Interesting. So it just doesn't feel like it clashes with the traditional vibe.
Apparently not. It's integrated thoughtfully. And obviously it's a huge plus in summer, July and August, a really nice bonus.
That raises an interesting point about how traditions aren't static, are they? They evolve. If it's done well, integrating something modern like a pool can actually enhance the experience without losing that core identity. It shows they're thinking about guest comfort today, too.
Absolutely. It sounds like they've really nailed that balance. How did the review describe the integration? How does it not feel out of place?
It seems to be all about the setting. The pool isn't just plonked down. It's designed to blend in with the natural surroundings, framed by the same kind of lush greenery you find in the traditional gardens. So it complements the relaxing atmosphere rather than sticking out. It respects the aesthetic.
Makes sense. It sounds like that thoughtful balance carries through to the rooms as well. That's where the traditional comfort really comes into its own. So the review details a typical room called Izuminada. And isn't that a lovely touch? Room names, not numbers.
Oh.
Feels very personal.
Yeah, much nicer.
So Izuminada is what they call a Japanese-style superior quadruple. Basically, for 3 or more people, sleeps up to 6. This particular one was on the ground floor. It had like 4 main areas off a central entrance space. The main living room was an 8 tatami mat room.
Right, the traditional straw mats.
Exactly. And those mats give such a distinct feel underfoot, firm but comfortable. But this room felt even bigger than 8 mats because it had verandas on 2 sides looking out onto these beautiful gardens. Lots of authentic period details, but also, thankfully, a modern air conditioning unit tucked away discreetly. Always a plus.
Definitely need that sometimes.
One veranda had chairs and a table, perfect for just sitting and soaking up the garden view lily pads on a pond, even a little red torii gate visible. Then there was a smaller anteroom, about 4.5 tatami mats, often used as the main sleeping area, and a small bathroom, just a basin, really, with a separate toilet. Practical layout. And walking around the corridors, you see these beautiful ikebana flower arrangements, that classic Japanese art form. Plus, there's even a path to a separate, smaller, private guest house if you want real seclusion.
You know, what stands out there is the incredible attention to detail. From the room names, as you said, to designing the verandas specifically to connect you with the garden. It really shows they want you to have an immersive experience. It's not just a room. It's about encouraging you to engage with the surroundings, the whole aesthetic.
Totally. And they really seem to cater well for people who might be new to ryokans. The review raves about the guest information folder in the room, says it's one of the best ever seen, and crucially, it's all in excellent English.
Oh, so helpful.
Yeah. Includes things like a photo guide showing you step-by-step how to put on your yukata, the cotton robe.
Right. Can be tricky the first time.
Exactly. And a guide to nearby gardens and temples, again with photos. But the real gem mentioned is this hand-drawn colored map of Amami village.
Oh, lovely.
Yeah, highlighting local spots, perfect for wandering around on your own. Just a really thoughtful touch. Just a quick reminder, if this deep dive is making you want to pack your bags, you can see all the pictures, get more details, and find the booking link for Nanten-en over at therealjapan.com. The link is right there in the description. Okay, so beyond the rooms, the garden. It's described as magnificent and a major highlight. Not all ryokan have gardens this extensive.
It varies a lot.
And this one is apparently very cleverly designed, using that borrowed landscape technique. Shakai, is that right?
Yes, shakai. It's a classic Japanese garden design principle.
Right, where the garden sort of blends into the background scenery, the mountains in this case, so you can't quite tell where the garden ends and nature begins. Makes it feel huge and seamless.
Exactly. It's more than just looking pretty. It's philosophical. It's about creating harmony between the human-made space and the natural world. It deepens that sense of connection to the environment, makes the garden feel boundless. A really subtle but powerful technique.
Beautifully put. But the immersion doesn't stop at the garden walls. Nanten offers something really quite special, according to the review. guided tours of the village and the nearby mountains, led by an Englishman named Gary Luscombe, who actually works at the Ryokan.
Oh, interesting. An English guide there.
Yeah, the review mentions a 3-hour mountain hike he leads. You walk through Amami village first, past working farms, rice paddies, real rural life, then up into the forest. Apparently, they even had a cool chance encounter with a local birdwatcher who pointed out a rare bird.
Ah, those spontaneous moments are the best.
Totally. The hike itself sounds comfortable, mostly shaded under the trees, and Gary shares insights about Shugendu.
Ah, the mountain asceticism tradition.
Right, that blend of folk beliefs, Shinto mountain worship, and Buddhism, and about the Yamabushi monks who practice it. Fascinating stuff learned right there on the trail.
That really highlights how a good guide can just completely transform a walk. Learning about Shugendu and the Yamabushi right there, in the landscape they used, it connects you so much more deeply than just admiring the view. It connects you to the history, the spirituality of the place.
That's a great way to put it, transforming the walk. How does Gary do that? Make it feel immersive, not like a history lesson.
Well, the review suggests it's through storytelling, personal anecdotes maybe, pointing out natural features tied to the beliefs, sharing stories of the Yamabushi as you walk their paths. It links what you're seeing now to centuries of practice. Much more engaging.
Makes sense.
And the review also mentioned seeing some abandoned stuff, like old vehicles or machinery. It appreciated that honesty, showing the real interaction between people and the land, not just a perfect postcard. It didn't detract, apparently.
Right, keeps it real. So after all that walking and learning, what's next? An onsen, of course. Back at Nanten-en, you change into their unique yukata. It's indigo blue with this cool bamboo design. Apparently, it's even a registered cultural property of the local city.
Wow, even the yukata has heritage.
I know, right? Then you head to the hot springs. They're natural, rich, and radium-safe, low levels, obviously, but traditionally thought to be good for things like blood pressure, muscle aches, metabolism.
The classic onsen benefits.
Exactly. There are separate baths for men and women, each with one main pool. They face these big glass windows looking out onto the garden.
Nice view while you soak.
Definitely. The review notes they're maybe modest compared to huge spa resorts. They're perfectly relaxing and great, especially if it's your first Ryokan onsen experience. Does the job beautifully. Okay, relaxed, refreshed, ready for dinner. And this is often the absolute pinnacle of a Ryokan stay. Kaiseki Ryujiri.
Ah, yes, the multi-course hot cuisine of Japan.
Precisely. And Nanten apparently excels here, particularly with something quite special, a full vegan kaiseki option.
Oh, now that is still quite rare and very impressive for traditional kaiseki.
Totally. It really highlights the chef's skill and creativity. Of course, they also have a non-vegan version with all the classics, wagyu beef, sashimi, all that.
But offering a truly high-level vegan kaiseki that shows real innovation within the tradition. It's not just about leaving things out. It requires rethinking dishes entirely while keeping that kaiseki spirit of seasonality and artful presentation.
Exactly. And speaking of presentation, how did the review describe the look of the food? You know that saying, you eat with your eyes first?
Absolutely. The review said the presentation was just stunning. For both options, apparently. Around 12 courses, often served one by one, each looking like a little edible masterpiece.
Wow.
The vegan centerpiece, for example, was described as this incredible, vibrant display. White radishes, edamame, tiny tomatoes, courgette, plums, azuki beans, purees, edible flowers. It's just a beautiful arrangement showcasing nature. Sounds amazing.
It really does. And some specific vegan dishes mentioned sounded fantastic too, like tempura, kabocha squash, shiso leaf, peppers, all in that super light batter.
Proper tempura is unbeatable.
And mushrooms with this intense umami flavor on miso paste. And yuba, tofu skin, served delicately on a leaf. It sounds like the vegan meal was every bit as special.
High praise indeed.
After a meal like that, the review suggests a walk around the garden, which is lit up at night. Gives it a whole different atmosphere, apparently very photogenic.
Nice.
Then back to your room, where the staff have magically laid out your futon beds while you were at dinner.
Classic Ryokan service.
Yep. In the bigger rooms, that anteroom can be a separate sleeping space, which is nice. And sleeping on a futon. It's cozy, isn't it?
It is a very unique feeling. Grounded.
Yeah. You might hear the odd creak from the old wooden building, but they have quiet hours from 10 p.m., so it's generally very peaceful. Then in the morning, you get a traditional Japanese breakfast, lots of local, seasonal stuff.
Always a highlight.
You get the staples, rice, miso soup, but also things like grilled fish, stewed vegetables, maybe a Japanese omelet, pickles, tea. A proper delicious start to the day. So, wrapping it all up, What's the verdict from this deep dive? Nanten sounds like a truly standout place.
It really does seem to tick a lot of boxes.
Key strengths. Location under 45 minutes from Osaka, but feels totally rural. The architecture, that unique Kingo Tatsuno design, blending east and west, plus being a cultural property.
Yeah, the history aspect is huge.
The magnificent garden with the borrowed landscape, that surprising outdoor pool, and the exceptional kaiseki, especially that full vegan option being available.
That vegan kaiseki sounds like a real game changer for some travelers.
Definitely. The onsen is maybe more modest, but sounds perfectly lovely and relaxing.
Serves its purpose well.
And you get all the expected comforts, Wi-Fi, AC, toiletries, plus those extras like the guided tours or hiring bikes.
Seems very well-rounded.
Price-wise, the review mentioned it starts around 25,000 per sun per night, including those amazing meals. And they take Visa and MasterCard, which is always helpful.
Good value for the whole experience, sounds like.
Well, that brings us to the end of our deep dive into Nanten-en Ryokan. We really hope you've enjoyed this little journey to a place that seems to beautifully blend tradition with some really unique, quite delightful surprises.
It certainly sounds like a memorable stay.
Absolutely. And remember, for the full picture, all the photos, more details, and that booking link, head over to therealjapan.com. The link's waiting for you in the description. And hey, if you enjoyed this exploration, why not subscribe at therealjapan.com? You'll get more great free content like Rob's Japan Travel Bulletin newsletter delivered straight to your inbox every couple of weeks.
Good stuff.
So here's a final thought to leave you with. In a world that's always chasing the new, the next big thing, what seemingly traditional experience, maybe somewhere you've been or plan to go, might actually hold surprising modern twists or deep historical layers you hadn't expected. Something to think about until our next deep dive.